1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move. Whatever click you choose.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to Life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing right there on that intro. And if you're interested in getting it, hit me up on my email, 16tolifemusic@gmail.com, and I'll give you information on how to get it. Now let's get right into today's video, man. So yeah, we definitely got some unfortunate and some shocking news. You know, of course, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard it by now, or most of us have, that Young and Jefe, the YouTuber Young and Jefe, has been arrested, right? And people are speculating what the arrest is for. Now, I seen this late last night, right? But instead of making a video, when you have a situation that's potentially big or something like this, you know, what I like to do is I like to make sure the information is, you know, it's true before I just run and make a video, right? So I chose to just sit back and somewhat kind of look into the situation and figure things out before I make a video. And unfortunately, yes, it is true, you know. So I happened to go to a website and get the information, right? And yes, he definitely is locked up. And so let me just show you guys that right now. Okay, so as we can see, I'm here at the Inmate Information Center. All this stuff is, of course, you know, public information. They got his booking number up here. They got his last name, which is Shelman, Shelmon. First name Maurice. Last name Keandre, it looks like. Sex, male, of course. Race, black. Charge level, felony. Of course, that is a indication that he has some very serious charges. Then they got his date of birth here, excuse me. They got his age. He's 35. You know, just the normal information that they would put on a sheet, something like this. You know, height, 5'9", weight, 260. Now, his arrest date is 5/19/2026. He was arrested at 12:50. You know, I don't know military time. The arrest agency, they got that. The agency description, who I guess executed the arrest, is the LAPD Robbery and Homicide Division. So either he has a robbery or a homicide. Of course, the date he was booked, 5/9/2026. The time, 15:22. The location description, LAPD 77th Street Division, right? So now as we scroll down here, this is the unfortunate part right here. His bail, $1 million. Yeah, so that's definitely an indication of whatever he is arrested for is serious. Housing location, LAPD. His court information right here. Right now, it's no information pertaining to his court information. So now let's get over here to where it says his case information, and it doesn't say too much here. It says click on specific case number for detailed information. So it doesn't have a case number. It has the case number blotted out or whatever. So I'm gonna just try to click on this, see what happens. Nothing happens. Details, click on that. Okay, it just takes me to another case number right here. I'm gonna try to click on that, see if we can get any information. Nope. So doesn't even talk about his next court date or anything. So we gonna close the window. Try to click on a few of these things, see if anything happens. Nothing really happens, okay? So yep, so that's pretty much it, man. So yeah, unfortunately, it's true. And it does look like he is facing a large bail and probably some very serious charges. So as you just saw, he has a $1 million bail, and a $1 million bail is definitely a big indication of a serious charge. Once again, he was picked up by the 77th Division Robbery and Homicide police or detectives or whatever it is. So that's an indication right there that it's either or. And if I was to guess, due to the bail, I would say that it's not a robbery, right? Let me show you guys actually too what Wack 100 had to say on the situation.
In the block.
Hey, Wack, you there, bro? Hey, you heard about Aunt Jefe?
What?
They said he locked up with $1 million bail. It say robbery homicide department locked him up.
Well, there you go. Hey, listen, like I tell niggas, the life I live is a very privileged life. I ain't in the street. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully the niggas, hopefully come up from under it. I don't wish jail on nobody. Believe it or not, being Ant, we been in communication. He ain't my enemy like that. We didn't have our disagreements, but and hopefully somebody just put some bullshit on him. You know, he think, well, I don't know what Ant was doing. I know no jumper wasn't paying him like that, because it don't pay like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know what he was doing. So hopefully it's a mistaken identity or wasn't him. Hopefully, but.
Now, one important thing I want to point out is you heard him say during that spiel that he was giving that despite the back and forth that him and Aunt Jefe had going on in the past, they have talked, right? And that's one reason, and this is some game for you dudes out there, right? That's one reason why if I happen to have a problem with any individual and he has had a problem with somebody else, I never bring that up. Case in point, right? You have heard a lot of people say, well, yeah, Wack, that's why you turned down the fade with Jay Diggs. You still ain't fought Aunt Jefe yet. You don't never know what two individuals may have possibly went behind closed doors and resolved, right? So now by bringing this up, you are possibly, given an opportunity for one of these individuals to bite on a situation that has been rectified, even though that is solely on those two individuals, right? If they have rectified a situation, they shouldn't bite off somebody saying something, but sometimes they do, right? But if you happen to have a problem with an individual, then just address that individual. Don't go all into what he did and didn't do with some other individual. That's just a little bit of game for you guys. But anyway, back to the situation at hand, right? So, of course, this is a situation that, YouTube is going to do what YouTube is going to do, right? Of course, we know had some other YouTuber got caught up in this situation. We all know that Ant would have reported on it because that's what he does on his channel. And so, people have to understand that, when you make content, sometimes if you happen to become content, then people are going to do the content. So it's no shot at Aunt Jefe or whatever, right? So hopefully he gets free of this situation, right, as soon as possible. And so anyway, though, he happened to make a video the other day and he said a little something, and now YouTube, they're going to town kind of with this. So let me show you guys specifically what I'm talking about.
I don't know who this person is, but Hot Topics is pertaining to the shooting I did
Now, when he said that, right, I don't know if that was a slip of the tongue or whatever, right? But what I do know is this. When you making YouTube videos, if you happen to stumble over the words, you mispronounce something wrong, you misspeak, you get tongue-tied like a lot of us do in everyday regular conversation, that moment is not on YouTube for the world to see or on social media, right? When you happen to have a moment like that for the world to see, and maybe maybe it didn't even dawn on you that you misspoke or you said something in error, YouTube is going to take you to task about that and hold you accountable, right? So, that's what you have a lot of cats doing now, trying to say that he was talking about something that he done and he slipped up and referenced himself in some type of shooting, right? Like I say, man, YouTube, they going to hop on this and they going to do a whole lot with that particular video right there, right? And then I believe one of his last posts was he was making references to basically having a bad day. He was having a bad day. And actually I had spoke to Jefe on the phone Sunday night, actually. I had spoke to him Sunday night. I had reached out to him because I wanted him to potentially point me in the right direction. I'm trying to get on Brand Risk Boxing so I can have a boxing match with another YouTuber by the name of Gunners Collective. And so by him being at No Jumper and having individuals up there who has been on this Brand Risk Boxing before, he was going to look into a few things for me and see if he could point me in the right direction or send somebody my way, right? So I had spoke to him Sunday. But some people are saying that here's a post that he put up, I believe maybe yesterday or something, and he was referencing something about, kind of just having a bad day, like we all have bad days or whatever. And this is what you may have heard Wack talking about when I inserted that clip of him talking on Clubhouse. This is what he may have been mentioning. Anyway, let me show you guys this post right here.
What's the good old deal with the good old people, man? Today was not a good day, bro. Today was one of those bad days, man, where the devil was working hard, man. He was at work, man, and he was this close, man. He was this close to cashing in on wishful thinking. So right now, right, I'm in a phase where I'm trying to regroup, you know what I'm saying, and think things through, man, and just, create the space to be calm and copacetic, you know what I'm saying, through the storm, you know what I'm saying. But hopefully y'all had a good day up out there, though, man, on this Monday, man, you know what I'm saying? To anybody day who was bad like mine, we gonna make it through, champ, you know what I'm saying? As long as you make it through the next day, man, we got another chance, man, to recharge, man, and regroup, man.
So for right now, right, with everybody out there, it's pretty much still a big giant guessing game. Nobody really knows exactly what's going on. It's just a bunch of videos. You got a lot of YouTube detectives and sleuths trying to piece information together and trying to figure it out, and people like myself, man, just making content on this situation. Once again, though, in my opinion, that $1 million bail is unfortunately an indication that at least law enforcement considers this to be a very, very serious situation, right? And like I said, man, it's it's a cold situation. I haven't said this in a while, but I've said it. I've said it often. Man, one day you can be making content, and then the next day you become content, right? And I'm gonna keep it 100, man. When I see situations like this, it's just a reminder for me to kind of pull it in. You know what I'm saying? Do some self-evaluating, look around and see what I got going on, man, because this YouTube stuff at times can get messy, man. You can come on here and talk about kittens and the Catholic Church, and it's still going to be somebody, man, who disagrees with your message. You still going to have a troll in the comments saying crazy type of stuff, right? And I think at times for those of us who do read the comments and interact with the people making comments, That's something that you can get caught up in, man, because you never know, man. One of these dudes might be trolling, laid up, high, putting that stuff on his nose with some type of sex device in his rectum, and you going back and forth with this dude. This dude is getting his kicks and giggles. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the main reasons that I try to stay mindful not to go back and forth with these dudes in the comments, because you never know, man. This dude could be coming out of some drug-induced slumber after going to town on himself with the world's biggest cucumber. So, I try not to go back and forth with them dudes, and every now and then I lose sight of the situation, but I'm going to try to stick to that, right? And so hopefully, like I said, man, everything will turn out in the best for Aunt Jefe as soon as possible, man. If I happen to hear any more information on this situation, I'm going to get it to y'all, man. Y'all already know what it is, though. It's your boy 16 to Life. Resume normal program.